Hello everybody. I have decided to make a beginner intro video to dot painting, and if all goes well I will probably make a few different ones as I progress in sharing the information that I have learned over the past year. The basic supplies you need to get started that anyone can get, and you don't have to spend a whole bunch of money to get started. I do believe that every craft, hobby, pastime that you spend making something is going to eventually cost you something. However, this one is relatively cheap to get started on, and I think everybody can do dot mandala painting because I can't paint anything with a brush. However, I've been able to pick up my dotting tools and have so much fun. And I've used it, this type of painting actually, as my own personal anxiety relief, personal therapy, de-stressor, you name it. It is just the only thing it's ever brought me is joy. And I'm so excited to be able to share what I've been doing. So I'm going to go over some of the basic supplies. What I'm showing you is not absolutely 100% necessary, but I find what I have gathered here is the basics to make my life so simple when I'm painting. So I'm going to start from my left and work my way over. So I like to have a fiber cloth handy, more for me, wiping myself up, wiping off my canvases. Sometimes they sit for a while because I get more than one project going, and just to make sure that there's no dust residue. Obviously the paint would have to be dry in order to do that. Having a little water bottle that you can just quickly fill up with water, that's going to be really important for cleaning up stuff later. I have a little container here I've just filled with 2 different types of Q-tips, but just regular Q-tips work. Just cheapest you can get at the dollar store. I think the last pack I got has 450 pieces for $2. So I'm sure like you can get them maybe even cheaper if they're on sale or somewhere. These are pointy, let me see if I can see the video, pointy tipped Q-tips, and I get those off of the internet. And I think the last time I bought 1,200 pieces, and I think it was about $14 off of Amazon. They're beauty, makeup and beauty ones. So I just have a little container handy. You can put them in a cup. You do not have to have a plastic container. Wet wipes, no fragrance-free, no aloe, nothing like that. The cheapest ones you can get, again, I get mine from Walmart. They're just baby wipes, and those are helpful for wiping stuff up as well. So I like to have this really handy. I just happen to have a container from doing school photography, and I use it for that as well. I have a ruler, which I'll show you later, and it's covered in paint. As you can see, it's quite well used. Paper towel. I do have a big roll right here, if you can see it. Just having paper towel handy. Again, we'll be using that for wipes, wiping things up. A little paint palette. You can use whatever you want. You could use an egg carton if you have those left over. I got this at the dollar store, super cheap. I think it was $1. And what I love about it is it has this little plastic lid that if I'm painting a couple days in a row, it will keep my paint fairly wet still. Like, it doesn't dry up on me in a couple days, but depending on how much paint is in there. There's another trick too. I put water in this deeper part in the middle and then put the lid on, and that keeps some moisture in it as well. You need to have a canvas of some sort. You can also use rocks, flat, smooth, which I have done. But I just have these cute little, this is a 4-inch one. I just thought I'd start with something small. And then the paints that I use, I personally prefer to use this chalk paint as my base. And almost almost all of my canvases start out with a black background, and that's only because it makes the paint pop better than anything else as a background. So I have done other backgrounds, but as a rule of thumb, black base is the way to go. And then I use a variety of paint. So I just wanted to show a couple that are very common, very simple to find. DecoArt Crafters Acrylic. And all my paints are acrylic. I get this at the dollar store here in Kamloops, but I'm sure other dollar stores carry them. Americanas, DecoArt, or DecoArt's Americana. DecoArt's Crafters Acrylic, same thing. And then I also use Folk Art, which is made by Plaid. Again, they're all acrylic, and the importance of the paint isn't necessarily the brand name, it is the consistency of the paint. So there's ways to work around thick, heavy-bodied paints, which you can get into the more expensive Liquitex, Arteza, brands like that, which Golden, which I have done. But again, I'm trying to start with the basics here, the simplest, fastest, easiest way to test this out. If you like it, you're going to buy more. And if you don't love it, you haven't spent too much money. One of the quickest, cheapest ways to start is to go on Amazon, and they have these little kits that come with this set here. Sometimes they add in these little nail styluses, and then the set I got actually came with these other ones that had these really big silver ball ends, which I don't use particularly often. They're meant for swooshes, and it's just not something I've perfected yet. So I stick with the regular circle ends. You can see right here, they're just a flat end, and they're perfectly round, and they all have different sizes. They are measured by millimeter, but I never got hung up on what size each one was, because I really just let the dots decide for me the design. Now, I'm not even going to get into talking about design right now, because that's a completely different video. But for these tools, I think a set like this with these ones was under $20. In fact, I think it was even cheaper than that. And it came with a bunch of templates that you can use to trace on your canvases, which I recommend getting, even though you may not ever use them. It's just, they do come with a few basic ones that just help with finding your center spot and your main quadrant guidelines. But again, I'm not talking about design right now. I'm just showing you the tools. And they have, like, different sizes. So the big one. And these styluses, you can get them, like, you might have seen a nail tech use them on you. They have two different ends usually. And mine are bent, which is not normal. I saw a video somewhere on YouTube that said to bend them and made it easier to use them. I don't think it really actually makes a difference. They're bent now, so I'm just used to it. And then I've got this set. There's a few more that have silicone ends, but I really only use these two tools. So this one I use the pointy end. I was going to use it for dotting, but I actually use it to pop air bubbles. And this one I use this end, this smooth chisel end, to clean up my messes. So the second set of tools I ended up purchasing, which are the ones I use the most, are from a company called DIY Mandala Stones. You can just Google them, search them up on the internet. And the last set that I've purchased, the most recent purchase, is from the Dotting Center. And this is a company out of the States. There's obviously different, like, not as many sizes as the ones that come with the DIY Mandala Stones, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to try them out. I kind of like the fact that they have a different shaped body. I hold the pen really weird, and so for me, I thought this might help work just as well as the DIY Mandala Stones. So pricing wise, I would say that the Dotting Center ones were cheaper, but I got less, obviously. There's also another brand that I don't have called Mark's Mandalas. In comparison to, say, the DIY Mandala Stones, is that the body of his tools these ones are perfectly round. His have a hexagonal shape, so they don't roll away on your table, which, if you might have noticed, I have a sheet of shelf liner paper here because I don't want my tools to roll off my desk, which they could easily do. And I also actually keep all my tools in this box. I'm just have a few in here now to show you, but I usually keep these to my right side, so they're easy to grab the different sizes, and they're in one place and I don't end up knocking them off. I've tried a few different pen holders, cup holders, and none of them seem to work. And I do worry about using a cup because I don't want, especially on the ones that are like this fine edge and this point, like this is the smallest point I have. I don't want that to get damaged because it would affect the dot.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to stay tuned to this channel. I'll be sharing more videos, and you can always follow me on Facebook at Paula's Virtual Craft Room.